Hello everyone, I'm Frank and welcome to Learn How to Sudoku, where we take a very easy variant Sudoku puzzle and we break it down in detail so that you can learn how to Sudoku. Today's very easy puzzle is called 4 by 4 by 4 and it's by Michael Lefkowitz. And here are the rules. In each quadrant, normal 4 by 4 Sudoku rules apply. That is, place the digits 1 through 4 once each in every row, column, and box. So that's for each quadrant. And this is a quadrant here. This is a different quadrant here. This is another quadrant here. Oops. And this is another quadrant here. So in each of these quadrants, you have to have, you basically play normal 4 by 4 Sudoku, where you have to place the digits in each cell in that quadrant. You have to place a digit from 1 through 4 such that there are no repeats in any row, column, or box. We also have, actually this is the other rule, we have red shapes always sum to one of 4 possible sums. And shapes with the same sum cannot repeat in any row, column, or box of the large 4 by 4 Sudoku. So this is essentially, so the sum of this red shape must sum to one of 4 sums, right? And those sums cannot repeat in any row, column, or box. So that means the sum of this shape has to be different than the sum of this, the sum of that, and the sum of these. And they sum to only 4 unique sums. So that means one of these 4 sums, this must be equal to the sum, cannot be equal to the sum of this or the sum of this. It has to be equal to either the sum of this shape or the sum of this, and we don't know which. Same with this. This shape cannot equal the sum of any of these because they are in the same box, and cannot be the same as these sums because they are in the same row and column, but it has to be exactly the same as one of these here and then one of these. So imagine essentially you have 4 by 4 normal Sudoku in each quadrant, and there are 4 quadrants. And for each 2 by 2 box, there is a red shape which sums up to a sum. And those sums, you do essentially, well, it's not Sudoku, but it's basically you cannot have repeats of those sums in any row, column, or bigger box, right? Quadrant, I guess, in their quadrant. They can't sum to the same sum as these cells. And I hope that was clear. And those are all the rules. If you'd like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. And now, I'm going to get started. Let's learn how to Sudoku. Okay. So we know 2 of these sums, I should say. So you always have the digits 1 through 4 in each smaller box. The sum of one cell has to be 1 through 4, obviously. The question is, can it ever be 1 or 2? And I think the answer is no. Because these, yes, it cannot be 1 or 2. because if it were 1 or 2, the problem is this in row 4 of the sums, or yeah, I don't know how to describe this. In row 4 of these sums, you have each being the sum of at least 2 unique digits, which is guaranteed to be at least 1 and 2. So therefore, the sum of these must be a 3-4 pair, because they must add up to 3 or 4 in row 4, right? So these have to be 3 and 4 specifically, and they must be different digits. So we're going to make that red, and we'll make that orange. They have to be different digits, because if they weren't, then the problem is that they would sum to the same sum, and that's not allowed in the same quadrant. So red cannot be here, red has to be here, so this must be a 3-4 pair. That means in the rest of this quadrant column, row 4, this cannot be 3 or 4, it's 1 and 2. That makes this 1, 2, 1, 2 as a pair. That forces this to be the orange 3-4 here. So this cannot be the orange 3-4 as a singleton, it must be the red 3-4. Okay. What does that mean then? Orange cannot be here. This is the red 3... Wait, that doesn't work. No, this cannot be. If this is the red 3-4, this sum plus and this sum are the same, which is not allowed. So this has to be the orange 3-4. I was getting confused because these are in separate quadrants. So you cannot have repeats within the quadrant, but this is not the same quadrant. So this has to be the orange 3-4, because otherwise this doesn't add up, right? I mean, sorry, these sums would be the same, I should say. So this is a sum of 3 unique digits. It cannot be this one. It must equal the sum of 2 unique digits here. So this could be, this cannot, one of these is red. One of them is 1 or 2. To be the sum of 2 unique digits, it must be, it's at most 7. So this has to be at most 7, and then it has to be 6 or 7 because it's at least 6, right? 1, 2, and 3 adds up to 6 at minimum. So this must be the red 3-4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and this must be 1 or 2, which makes this 3-4 and is orange 3-4. So orange 3-4 cannot be here or here, so orange 3-4 must be there. Red 3-4 can't be here. This cannot be a combination of 1 or 2, because that would add up to the same sum as 3 in one of these. So this must be then 3 or 4 with red. So this is 3 or 4, this is 1 or 2. This can't be 3 or 4, it's 1 or 2, which makes this the red 3-4. This is also 1 or 2. Interesting. So, that means we have sums of 3, 4. This could be 5 or 6, and this could be 6 or 7. So the possible sums are 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7. So this has to be 1, 2, 4 at most. So you're guaranteed for any of the sets of 3 unique digits adding up to a sum, it has to be either 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 4. So we're guaranteed a 3, 4 here. We're guaranteed a 3, 4 here. This is obviously a 3, 4. This is a 3, 4, but we don't know which color. These have to be different colors, though. So this is different than this. Okay, so we'll mark this as green, I guess. So that's green. We'll mark this as pink. These are different 3, 4s because they must add up to, they are in the same quadrant, in the same row. And these sum to 3 and 4. Okay, so this sum must be different from this sum. So this has to be the red one. It cannot be orange. So that means this is orange. And this must be orange also because these sums must be different. This sum must be different from that. So this is the orange one. This sum is different from that, which is why this is the orange one. This is red, this is orange. And this must be the red one. This must be the orange one. Three digits have to add up to 6 or 7. So this must match this one. So this has to be 1, 2, and red 3, 4. Right? Because if this were 2 and 4... Well, no, wait. Okay, so this can't be 3 and 4. So since this can't be 3 and 4, it can never add up to the same sum as this. Right? Because if this were 1, 2, and 3, well, this must then be 1, 2, or 3. Because this has to be 5, right? These are unique sums here. If this is 6, that forces this to be 5. This can never add up to 5, so this would add up to 6, which would force that to be 5. However, if this is 7, the problem is this can never add up to 7 because they would both see this cell, and it would be 3, 4 as a pair, adding up to 7, which would eliminate all possibilities for that cell. So this must match this one, which means this cannot be the red 3, 4. It's the orange 3, 4. Orange 3, 4 can't be here, can't be here. So this must be orange 3, 4 here. Orange 3, 4 can't be here and here, which makes this the orange 3, 4 here. This is the same sum as this. This must be the same sum as this. Because these are the same, these are the 3 and the 4 as a sum. So therefore, this is 3 or 4. This must add up to 3 or 4, and we have an orange 3, 4 there. So that means orange must be 3. So orange has to be 3, which makes red have to be 4. In the sum column 1, we have 7 and either 5 or 6. So this must be 1, 2, 4. And this is 3, 4. This is 3. We have 5 or 6 and 7 there, so we need 4 here. So this must be 1 here. Which means this is a 2, 4 pair. This has to be 1 here. This is 3. This must be 1, 2, and 4 here. 1, 2, and 4. Obviously, 4 cannot be here. So this is 1, 2, 1, 2. We have to have a 4 in one of these cells. If we don't, it would be 1, 2 adding up, which would add up to 3, which we would have duplicate of the sums in that column. So one of these is 4. It's 4 with 1 or 2, and this is 1 or 2 here. Therefore, this can't be 4, it's 1 or 2. And this must be 1, 2, or 4 here. This can't be 1, though, because of 1 in the row. This is 2, 4, 2, 4. So this adds up to 4. This cannot add up to 3 because we already have the sum of 3 in that column. So this must be adding up to 3 here. So this is 1, 2. Adding up to 3. That leaves this as 3, 4 pair. This can't be 3 because of 3 in the column. So this is 4. That's 3. This can't be 3 and 4. It's 1, 2 as a pair. Therefore, this is 3, 4 as a pair. This has to be 1, 2, or 3. We don't know which. This 4 eliminates 4 here. So this is 3, which makes this 4. Therefore, this must add up to 5. because at most, which means this is 5 at least. So this is 1, which makes this 2, which makes that 1, which makes that 2, which makes that 1, which makes that 2, 1, 2. So that's done. So this adds up to 5. This adds up to 5, so this must be 1 and 4. Oops. 1 and 4, which eliminates 1 and 4 in the rest of the box. So this is 2, which makes that not 2. That's 4 and 1, which makes that 2, which makes that 4, which makes that 2. 2 eliminates 2 here, so it's 4 and 2. 1 eliminates 1 here, so it's 4 and 1. And that's done. This is 1 and 2, 3 and 4. This must be 2 here, which makes this 1. This can't be 2 or 3, so it's 1, which makes that 2, which makes that 3. 2 eliminates 2 here, so it's 1, which eliminates 1 here, so it's 2 and 1. This can't be 1 or 2, it's 4, which forces that to be 2 there. So we have 3, 4, 5, and this must add up to 7. So this is 3, 4 as a pair, but this cannot be 3 because of 3 in the column, so this is 4 and 3. That forces this to be a 1, 2 pair here. This is 1, 2 here, 1, 2, or 4, 1, 2, or 4. So this adds up to 7. We have 3 here. This is 3, 4, and 7. We're missing 5 as a sum. Cannot be 3 here, so this must be 1, 4 as a pair, adding up to 5. 1, 4 eliminates 1 and 4 in the rest of the row, so this is 2, this is 1, that's 4. 2 eliminates 2 here, so it's 1 and 2. This must add up to 3. No, 4. Because we have 3 already in the quadrants, 7 and 5. So this has to be 1 and 3. 3 cannot be here, so this is 1, that's 3. Which makes that not 1, that's 4 and 1. This is 2. That makes this 4 and 2 and 3. And yeah, double check. 1, 2, 3, 4 in this quadrant. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 1. 3, 1, 2, 4. 4, 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4, 1. No repeats, no repeats, no repeats in boxes. Same with this row, 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 row. Same with that column. No repeats, no repeats. No repeats, no repeats, no repeats, no repeats. No repeats here. And no repeats here, 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 here. Here, 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 and in the boxes. So this sums to 7, 4, 3, and 5. 5, 3, 7, and 4. 3, 5, 4, and 7. 4, 7, 5, and 3. Then 7, 5, 3, 4. 4, 3, 5, 7, 3, 7, 4, 5, 5, 4, 7, 3. And in the boxes, we have 7, 4, 5, 3, 3, 5, 7, 4, 3, 5, 4, 7, and 4, 7, 5, 3. Pretty cool. Nice little sort of variation. I've never done anything like this where you have these sums essentially be sort of Sudoku-like, with their 1 through similarities, but it's an interesting concept. You could probably expand it pretty decently elsewhere, I think. Maybe, maybe not. It might be harder to extend that. That would be pretty convoluted if you made it a 9 by 9. So that would be 9 by 9 by 9. That would be a lot of cells. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Learn How to Sudoku, and I'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.